I think the biggest news since we've been gone and the biggest event in baseball I think it's obvious that it was the Field of Dreams game involving your Chicago White Sox.
Yeah, I mean, it was wow. I think it was better than anyone could have ever imagined in a good and bad way. It turned into an incredible game because our closer was tipping his pitches, but before we get into that, like just the way it was done, I think MLB really did a fantastic job with it. I can't hear you.
I want to
There you go.
frame that along those lines. I want to frame that as this is like the quintessential aesthetics segment that we created. The you could say a cornfield saved baseball. I mean, they basically marketed this entire game around a cornfield and nostalgia, the old
Yep.
uniforms. This is exactly what aesthetics was made for. So, thank you MLB. It worked to a T with 6 million viewers, I think.
The largest the largest regular season viewership in 16 years for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's incredible. Regular season, yeah,
Yeah, regular season, yeah. Yeah,
but
regular season game in 16 years. I mean, I think a lot of that though goes to the fact that it wasn't by any surprise it was the Yankees and the White Sox pick for that though.
that certainly helped.
The White Sox have, as we talked about a few podcasts back, they are the most viewed team in all of baseball right now. They're the most watched team. So it was perfect. It was a perfect storm. It's kind of like the Sosa McGuire home run chase that year that kind of revitalized baseball and brought it to the masses again. And this is kind of what that game did. I think, unfortunately, and you and I kind of went back and forth in tweets on this. They're probably going to run this into the ground to where there's better ways to approach it, and I think you have some ideas for that. But
I do.
You want to stay on the aesthetics of it though, like just like the Sox wearing the shoeless Joe, the classic jerseys, which Rob and I ended up buying one.
Oh wow, super cool. There's no logo on the hat, which I think is cool. You can buy the hat with a logo on it apparently, but I love the look that they just wore, the pinstripe hat with no logo on it. The uniforms are cool. My question is, those are the 1919 uniforms, which is like the saddest, most shameful
the
year
Black Sox,
yeah.
Well, so they wore those uniforms more than that year, though. But that's what that uniform is most famously known for.
Okay, but they're known as the 1919 uniform. So I thought that was a strange thing. I guess it has to do with the movie that's the uniform they were. So I'm questioning why the movie put them in their 1919 uniforms. Was that a backhanded slap at the White Sox? Or
well, that was the uniform that Shoeless Joe really played in, and the movie is.
Did he had his whole career in the 19?
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate that it's tied together with that. So I just find it kind of, I don't know if it's ironic, but celebrating that uniform, celebrating the darkest moment in maybe sports history, where we almost lost the credibility of our sport in the most critical of World Series games, World Series. So that was my one question. The other side of that is the Yankees basically look like they were wearing their typical road uniform.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is their but that goes to like if the Tigers were a throwback uniform, it probably wouldn't look much different.
Look too much different. Yeah. The Yankees had essentially their same road uniform they've worn for 100 years. They just had a fucked up logo on their hat.
Yeah, a fat NY basically.
Yeah, it looked like the manufacturer just it looked like the manufacturer just fucked up. It's like a bad batch of hats that they
they're like,
they had to wear.
God, we had this extra thread laying around. Let's make the logo fatter.
Yeah, it's not New Era, it's New Area or something. They went to the wrong manufacturer.
Yeah, I mean, but and that's what I thought about the Yankees too. I'm just like, but it is what it is. I mean,
it looked good. I mean,
it looked fine. So then the game itself was,
Well, that's
Look,
what's amazing is as perfectly produced as Fox did. I think they did an incredible job. I mean, the a cornfield. It sounds funny and trite that cornfield saved baseball, but it looked fucking cool as hell to see a game in there. They did a cool job with even putting up a fence, chain link fence that had like kind of wood borders around it. Looked cool. The scoreboard looked super cool. It was like a wooden manual scoreboard that you could actually hear it squeak as they climbed up the ladder.
yep.
It was just perfect for that. But
And
everything looked perfect. The production value was incredible with drone footage that I think we're going to see a lot more of, or maybe they could use drones because it wasn't flying over people
right.
in that case. So I don't know. I'd be shocked if we don't see more drone footage during games because that was just cool as fuck. But yeah, is it as perfectly as the aesthetic of the game was even better, more legendary, more. We'll be talking about that game for a long time. I had a blast watching it, being an impartial observer, as I don't like either of those teams, but I can't imagine what you were going through watching that game, especially in the late innings.
I will sum it up with what I sent Dave in a text. I think I sent the same text to a few other people. I went from obscenities of anger to obscenities of joy when Tim Anderson, the lifeline of the White Sox, the pulse of that
He's still
team,
doing it. Last night, even.
Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, it's almost
He's
a week
carrying
apart.
that
It's
team.
almost a week. Oh yeah, he's carrying the team. Like almost a week apart. He goes ahead and he hits probably the home run. Like it may end up being. Well, we'll see what playoffs happen, but it could end up being it's going to end up being one of the most memorable home runs of his career. But with what happened in that game, again, like nothing's probably going to live up to that game again.
No,
there's going to be no Field of Dreams game.
No game would have anyway, even if it was a mediocre game. But since it was such an incredible game, there's nothing it's going to touch it. I mean, the novelty doing it for the first time is what was going to win no matter what. Then to have the game be as incredible as it was,
and I don't know if you know this, the dimensions of that park are Old Comiskey Park, the way they cut it, which I thought was super cool too.
I didn't know that until the broadcast they brought it up. I thought that was super cool. Like, why not? Yeah, if you're gonna have dimensions, you could make any dimensions you want in the middle of a fucking cornfield. So
right. So I mean, I wonder what in the next one they can go ahead and change it if they want. So I wonder if they are.